Now I have Mr. Attoh Quarshie here. Mr. Attoh Quarshie, welcome to the program again.
Thank you.
Now we know Nkrumah is the leader of the CPP, and activities went by. He won an election that made him the prime minister. Is that correct?
Correct.
Good.
Leader of government business.
Leader of government. What year would that be?
I think 51,
1952. 52 thereabouts.
52.
Okay, so that election, did you take part yourself? Not,
yes.
Not as a candidate, but what role did you play?
Oh, well, I vote for UGCC.
Anything against Nkrumah?
Oh, yes. Nkrumah, artificial Nkrumah. I don't vote for him. I know where the truth lies. And I'm challenging anyone to come out to condemn what I'm saying, to prove me with a document against what I'm saying. I'm speaking with the truth.
Yes, that's
when
correct.
I call Nkrumah tribalistic person, his own CPP condemn him. When I condemn Kwame Nkrumah as the man who don't know God, people in this country from A to Z, they know Kwame Nkrumah went to Kankan Nyame. Everyone knows.
What's Kankan Nyame?
Kankan Nyame as Lamakara at I think Senegal or so.
But we are told
Jujuma.
that you know that for a fact that that so-called Jujuman is called Kankan Nyame.
Oh yeah, the whole country.
It's his own language.
Go back.
The ancient god Kane Nyame.
Kankan Nyame, yes. Go back to Kotoka era, when the coup, after the coup, you see the same journalists in this country, made Nkrumah sitting at Kankan Nyame with 7 heads.
Oh, but those were just...
They know the truth. Nkrumah went to Kankan Nyame, he went to Akonodi. The one who represents him at Akonodi, called Ajemfran, a latte woman. You see?
Yeah. So let me come back. So Nkrumah now, I'm asking what role you played. So you are just a voter in 52.
Yes.
At this time, you hadn't taken on any political position yourself.
Yeah.
You are just one of them, rooting out for the UGCC.
Yes, I support them.
And they lost.
Oh, they lost. Because the people are mad. They don't listen to the truth.
Which people?
The Ghanaians.
Oh, all the Ghanaians were mad at the time?
So majority.
Except the UGCC?
Majority.
Okay, majority.
Majority are crazy, mad people. They don't prepare to listen to the truth.
So this 52 elections, was everybody in Ghana at the time allowed to vote?
Oh yes.
Including people from the northern territories?
Oh yes.
Okay. And Nkrumah became leader of government business?
Yes.
Still under colonial rule?
Before the election, Dr. Dankwa warned him. Say, stop shouting to the people, say government now. British people, you can't frighten them with a strike or any other things. They can give you say government with constitution. He cannot leave you just like that. Say government now. So today, here, say government, take it. They will give you constitution, which will govern you.
Yeah.
As British people lives, the same way they want to also to lead the people. And Nkrumah said the constitution is bogus and fraudulent. Say government now. Dankwa said no.
So when he became leader of government business, where was Dankwa?
I'm coming. They'll make an election before Nkrumah come to. And you are jumping from there.
Because I'm in a hurry.
This is impatient, which led the people to
vote for Nkrumah.
So, you see?
Yes.
So, Dankwa said no. Say government step by step, through constitutional means, within the shortest possible time. Nkrumah said the constitution is bogus and fraudulent. And he called for positive action, which background has spoke already. that time has come for political positive action before Nkrumah arrived in the country. And if you read the speech of Pa Grant, was a powerful speech.
Yes, I read that.
You see, which Nkrumah never knew. Nkrumah copy, you know, in the olden days, when you go to rally, they take record of each leader speech.
Yes.
You see, so when Nkrumah came, he studied the powerful speech. You see, by Dr. Dankwa, Obechebi Lamte, and others. You see, so Nkrumah tried to deceive the people. He made a positive action. They arrest them, put them into prison. The guns who went to prison with him, no 4 or 5 people from one tribe, except the guns.
Because they stood with him.
He stood with him.
Now, who took him to jail at that time?
The colonial government, when he called for positive action,
Yeah.
you see, and then there he started crying in prison. And then he smuggled a letter to Bedema. Then time has come for candidate to be chosen for
Election.
legislative assembly. The constitution, I don't know what's wrong with the Ghanaians. They should have asked themselves, say, if Nkrumah condemned the constitution, and now the constitution mature for legislative assembly, why you smuggle a letter from prison begging Bedema to fight for you to be nominated among the candidates? So the first letter, Bedema take it to the governor, and then they called Dr. Dankwa as a leader of opposition because he was the leader who were fighting the colonial government, standing in place of Pa Grant. So they called them. The colonial government want to use Dr. Dankwa and others. So they want to know the view of if Dr. Dankwa and others will say, Nkrumah has condemned the constitution, so we don't want him to stand among us. But Dr. Dankwa said no. So they start searching how the letter come out from prison. The first black man to be, we call it European position, chief warder.
Chief warder.
By name Loco. They don't search him. But this time they search Loco and discovered the second letter of Kwame Nkrumah from Loco. And so they sacked Loco from prisons. If Nkrumah is a good human being, when he gained power, he would have asked Loco to be the first director of prisons. But ignore Loco, and Loco died with frustration. People don't know. Particularly the Gans are foolish people.
Say that again.
Gans, they are foolish people. Oh, if they are not foolish people, the way Nkrumah treat Gans, you can't get any one like this.
So Loco was Gan, not a Kwapim.
Loco,
Not a Kwapim.
No, Loco is a Gan from Christiansburg. You see, Akwapims and Gans from beginning are just like twin brothers.
Yeah.
You see, so it happens that when they dismiss Loco, then they realize that really the thing comes from Kwame Nkrumah. The Bedema one confirm, and then Dankwa, when the Europeans confronted them with this Nkrumah letter, J.B. Dankwa said, "Oh, he's our brother." If now he realized that the constitution is powerful, which can give us the self-government as we plan, let him be.
Should allow him.
Yeah, allow him. Yeah. If he win, the others who follow him can be all come out. So Dr. Dankwa, as a kind man, allowed these things. And the Nkrumah name. And the guns, few seats we got in Accra, the main one, they give to Kwame Nkrumah.
Mm-hmm. This is Ododo or Ashedu Keteke at the time.
Ashedu Keteke at that time. And Nkrumah stood there. Mm-hmm. And they voted for him. But when he get power, guns become target.
Why do you say that?
Oh yes. What Nkrumah did to the guns, he never did the same thing.
Why he called them by name? Did he target people by name?
Oh yes. Take for instance, I said the people who went prison with him from Accra, about 12. Half of them, he sent them back to prison.
Why? He wanted
because
them
they
to go and
disagreed
finish.
with him.
Okay.
They realized that Nkrumah was an artificial leader. And therefore, he started putting them into prison, one after another.
He will call you and jail you, or, you know, there would have to
as
be a
he did to us.
Yourself?
Myself?
He jailed you?
Oh, Nkrumah put me into prison for 8 years without trial.
For doing what?
We were the people Nkrumah experiment for Preventive Detention Act. He said he got evidence that we are planning to assassinate him and his people. So within the short term, I'll give you later the copy of 43 arrests by Kwame Nkrumah. You never read this one.
No, I mean, of course, we've heard different things.
With opposition.
No, we've heard different things. But I'm speaking with regard to yourself.
This is open published.
Yes. So what did you do? What did you do? What did you not do?
We do nothing.
So you are asleep and they came to arrest you?
Don't let us leave that place. Let's follow the letter by Dr. J.B. Dankwa, Nkrumah to Bedema. So after he was allowed to stand, he became leader of government business.
So he won?
He won. And at Accra, our seat, few seats. People have to consider the contribution of the guns. A lot we have done for this nation. But when they reach a point where they can enjoy, they put
forget.
them aside. And when time came, and they need a blood, human blood, I don't know, by nature, I don't know. It was the guns, the same guns, Sergeant Ajiti, Odatilante. I'm coming to that point. So they voted for
Nkrumah, yeah.
Before the voting, when the soldiers said they are going to demand their back pay from the colonial government, it was Obeche Blante who drafted the letter for them. So he took his car and followed them to the junction. There he saw Emily shot, pam, pam, pam. Then Obeche Blante stood on his car and said, Emily is a police officer. He said, Emily.
The white guy?
Yes.
Emery.
White.
Okay.
He said, you shot? He said, yes. He said, who authorized you? He said, Captain Ballantyne. Then was the head of the police. So Obeche Blante took his diary and jotted it down. He rushed back to see Dr. Dankwa. But before he rushed, the soldiers, after they shot the tree, they returned to the city and that was the looting. The soldiers with their grievances start breaking the stores and they loot. And so Obeche Blante followed them. Atame ehi. And then you see the crowd. Wakame Ngbena. Atame ehi. Wakame Ngbena.
So you've had enough, so let's stop here. And they said, no, let's finish them completely.
Yes.
Okay.
So Obeche Bilante went to see Dr. Dankwa. J.B. Dankwa. Oh, what? Oh, yes. He's a man. So, they wrote the incident, what has happened, to the colonial office. And they say, can our colony behave like that? So they sent the colonial secretary by name Oliver Littington to come to Gold Coast and just something like fact finding to find the truth.
At this point, Imre was still here.
Imre was still here. Balanta also here. So there, they changed the constitution. After his visit, they changed the constitution before Nkrumah made the positive action. Now, they voted for Nkrumah, and he became leader of government business. Then going on, things becoming worse and worse and worse. For workers, they start suffering. The constitution has brought them from prison. Dankwa became first leader of opposition. And they are working. Kofi Baakun and others became deputy minister for defense in Nkrumah's regime. So we appreciate it. Okay, go on and let's see. If they can follow the constitution, we will get their government as per grant predated it. So as time goes on, the people start suffering. Hey,
the economy.
The money which the colonial government left, the current, reserve, and Cocoa Marketing Board, they made special. You have no right to touch it, just for the cocoa development. Nkrumah went, when he threw all the cockroaches and all these things in the coffers, then he went to Parliament and passed law to enable him to stretch his hand into Cocoa Marketing Board money after finishing the current and the reserve. And they formed CPC, Cocoa Purchasing Company. Then Nkrumah formed a company called Nadeco to take 15 or 10% from any contract or any investor who will get contract in this country. And he put his artificial brothers called Obedandro as a managing director, Ayekumi as a chairman of the Nadeco. We take bribe. You can find out this truth from Apalu Commission and Azu Crab Commission. And so when they went in all these things, they asked Obedandro, upon all the circumstances, how do you describe Nkrumah? You said you are his cousin and you are the managing director of Nadeco. He said Nkrumah was a swindler. It's in the papers. Not me say Obedandro. And I commit to what he said. Nkrumah economic advisor. He said when Nkrumah stepped ashore of Ghana, he will be the prosecutor. Ghanaians, what else do we want? And when are we going to learn from our past mistakes?
Okay, so we've been talking about Nkrumah now from Mr. Attoh Quarshie's experiences, and we will be moving closer to the independence itself, the independence occasion and the days ahead. So you've been watching Citi TV and the program is Footprints. We are here with Mr. Attoh Quarshie. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back from the break. This is Footprints, and today I'm here with Mr. Attoh Quarshie. Attoh Quarshie, so we are now living under the leadership of CPP's Kwame Nkrumah, or Ghana's Kwame Nkrumah. Now, fast forward to independence, what is your own memories of the events leading up to the occasion of independence in 1957?
I don't regret, as a young man at that time, as a young man who refused to support Nkrumah, because Nkrumah proved himself that he's not a genuine leader.
Even before independence?
Before independence and independent, Nkrumah is a crook, was a crook. You see, when in 1957, when we came to point that we are going to form a new party called United Party, when we first got up, we gathered ourselves with the Tokyo Joe and other things there.
Yeah, which you were leading.
Yeah, I brought it.
Yeah.
There's no difference. No difference between the president Attoh Quarshie who's sitting in front of you. I'm original Attoh Quarshie.
No, you're original, one and only.
Yes.
Mokobe. But where did you get the name Tokyo Joe from? Interesting. Because there was a Tokyo Joe.
You know when the Americans went to war, and they came back with the cutting of the hair like this, and our boys too copied the same thing.
Yeah.
So
the like this, the fashionable thing.
Yeah, they just from war.
Yeah.
So they are going to fight.
And I'm told you are very stylish yourself.
So we came out and said, Gashipon, Kamano. We Tokyo Joes who are shouting for Gashipon, Kamano.
Hang on, the Tokyo Joe group, who was sponsoring you?
This is something you ask beautiful. The boys are prepared, they are willing to sacrifice themselves. So when we go to rally ourselves at Mission House, where the Freeman Methodists at Jamestown, there we go to we hold our rallies. We collect 3 pence, 6 pence shilling.
But Nkrumah believed that you are being financed by some Western hands.
How? Who do we know?
Well, you are influential.
Oh, I've told you from the beginning that even United Goku's convention said they are going to work to contribute for the maintenance of the party. Then how can Chief Mokwe, which was the fly this thing in the country, will go to foreign country servicing as well? That was the socialist
strategy.
Yes, strategy. You see, so we stood boldly because the boys have said themselves, "Kegama shipon he wonje, amo mi haya fin bona sumo, boa bi ingbewo. Joe brothers see, boa bi ingbewo."
Now Joe brothers.
Tokyo Joe.
Tokyo Joe brothers. The spirit there, da.
Kegama shipon he wonje, amo mi haya fin bona sumo, boa bi ingbewo. Honor.
Yes.
So we stood boldly, careless about our starvation, hungry, anything. We fight for the
So
right.
in the process, you were identified by Nkrumah?
Oh yes. And when Nkrumah, because of me, Nkrumah passed Preventive Detention Act.
Because of you, Attoh Quarshie?
Oh yes. Because I was the one who championed the cause of Tokyo Joe in Accra. It's the only thing which there was a time CPP van can work in Accra State on the Accra Central. Oh yes. We don't use gun. We don't use cutlasses as it was happening in Ashanti. But we believe ourselves.
So what were you using?
Our hands.
To beat the people?
And the bottle.
Bottle?
Empty bottle.
To do what?
When you knock it, bam,
Bah!
then you change the police with it.
Okay, so at this time was Nkrumah. Are you talking about pre-independence or
pre-independence?
Okay.
You see.
So when were you arrested?
Accra here.
No, when? Was it after independence or before?
Oh, after independence.
When he had become the prime minister?
Yes, 1957. You see. So
immediately he became prime minister, he came for you?
Oh yes, because he can't sleep.
Hey.
Hey. In the evening, we get group playing. Nke kununjobi, jiwo malo mashikono ya. Nkrumah kununjobi, shiwo malo mashikono ya.
So this information about Nkrumah being Liberian, was this widespread?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Wow.
When Kotoka made the coup, you don't see we sang in the Accra. Kajo foi Nzimba bi yo.
Abaye is in
Kenny
Nzimba.
Bewoya. Kajo foi Kotoka nta oboso ye Ghana.
Okay, Nzimanyo, Shoke Kulunyon.
Oh yeah, Kulunyo. They came to. I told you from beginning that the Kulu Liberia people work by foot.
Not through by the sea, like
yes, seashore. You see, through Ivory Coast. From Ivory Coast, you cross the river Tando, and then you come to Ghana.
So you think that
Afasni.
They are settlers?
Oh yeah, they just come to Accra seeking for
greener pastures.
You see, so they carry the sheet, the nice soil.
So I'm interested in.
So I'm coming. When Nkrumah arrest we 43 people with Preventive Detention Act, the first commissioner of police, Majiti,
Maybe the first Ghanaian, properly Ghanaian.
Yes, taking the position of the Europeans. Majiti, Tibo, Ajako, Odonko, Saki.
They were all police people.
All police people. You see, Ghanaians have to learn our past history.
So Majite, Commissioner of Police.
Yes.
And then you talk about Tibo.
Yes.
You talk about Ajako.
Odonko.
Saki. These are guns.
They are all guns. Tibo is not a gun.
Yeah.
I don't know whether his mother could be a gun.
Tibo mostly Fanti.
Fanti, but we are mixed with them.
Yeah, of course.
So the way they classify him, after they arrested us, they asked Tibo to take off from Majiti. And Tibo too said, no, I can't betray my leader like that. So they put Tibo aside. Then they said, Ajako, you are the third in command. Ajako said, no, I can't take up this like that. He said, Saki. He said, no. Odonko. He said, no. So Nkrumah arrests all these people.
Because they refused to take over from...
Yes.
But what was Majite's offense?
You ask the question. Ask yourself.
Well, I don't have the answer.
Nkrumah being dictator and wicked man.
Oh, he was wicked, eh?
Kwame Nkrumah. Hey, Kayajen. What? Wickedness, Kwame Nkrumah. Oh.
So he jailed his own commissioner of police.
Commissioner of police.
And
the chiefs and people in this country. This is the reason why Kufuor honor me.
Yes.
Because I stood boldly on the platform. And then the three people, when they come to my rally, they say, Kandewu, I'm the one they call. My God is always go before me. So before Majiti and others came, I was enjoying a special cook. And I told him, I said, Artie, this is what I saw. And I said, Nkrumah is not a good man. If he say, I am going to kill him, falsely brought me here. What brought you also here? With a big belly at that time. Within 2 weeks, all the belly went down.
You mean the belly is vanished?
It vanished. I told him. They classify me as a troublemaker rather. Well, I'm speaking the truth. But in fact, Majite, Ajirako, and others say they are good police trained people.
Yeah.
They agree with me, but being uniform,
Of course
there's nothing they can do.
So how many years were you in prison?
Almost, we were arrested in 1958 and released 1960, I think 66 or so.
Were you released after the coup d'etat or before?
Coup d'etat. Coup d'etat brought us out.
Otherwise...
Kotoka Afrifa brought us out. We would have died in prison.
Wow.
Because when we get 5 years, according to Preventive Detention Act, we have to spend 5 years in prison. So when the 5 years reach, we were expecting our release papers to come out. Then the prison officer called Domenya, assure the old people. We got people like Pen Chechiri, Jomais, and others. 82 years people in prison, Nkrumah prison. Kwame Nkrumah. Oh, my brother. I never say Wiki, but at long last, when he was overthrown, he sent Boebosis, the man they put in the cage.
You put somebody in a cage?
Oh yes, after the Kotoka coup.
Oh, okay. So he didn't.
Yeah.
It was one of Nkrumah's people.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So he became a Limanta became ambassador to Conakry, where Nkrumah was.
So let me put this in context. So Nkrumah was prime minister up until 66. Mm-hmm. And then 66, there's a coup d'etat led by Kotoka and Afrifa and the team, which brought
us
General Ankara to become head of state. Is that correct?
Correct.
So you were released from prison?
Yes.
Okay. So now Nkrumah is no more. You are still listening to Footprints with Mr. Attoh Quarshie. Now he is to come out of prison with the overthrow of President Kwame Nkrumah. Prime Minister Nkrumah. And so we would want to hear from him how life was having come out of prison in 66 and how he felt upon hearing while in prison that Nkrumah had been overthrown. This is Footprints. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the program. This is Footprints on Citi TV. My name is Samuel Atamensa. And today I'm here with Mr. Attoh Quarshie, and I'm sure you've been following the program and some of the things you are hearing, which you really haven't heard before. And like he said, he's daring anybody and anyone who knows differently, who has documents to prove anything he said otherwise from exactly what he said, to come out. He's still here. He's 95 years old and still counting. And he has everything intact. He remembers names of people that even we, the young ones, can't remember. He even remembers the dates of all the occurrences that he's sharing with us. So, Mr. Attoh Quarshie, how did you react when you heard that Nkrumah had been overthrown?
Well, I knew that my God lives. He said, break the stone, thou shalt find me. Cleave the wood, and I'm there. So in prison, we're always close to God. He's our Redeemer. So we continue praying till, as I said, when Kulumungu bomb happened, that they brought Adamafiu, Akwaji, Kofi Crab.
They were all his ministers?
Businesses. Nkrumah, he was the deputy head of state when Nkrumah was going out.
Who was deputy head of state?
Adamafiu.
Okay.
He used to take the presidential. He's minister president.
Plenipotentiary.
Plenipotentiary.
Okay. And Aquaje was Minister for
Foreign Affairs.
Foreign Affairs, and Adamafi was Interior.
What was his reward? When I say Nkrumah is a wicked man, what was Aquaje's reward? I was in prison when they brought Aquaje, and I told him, say, didn't I tell you? When you went and joined CPP, by then Aquaje was living at Old Graphic Road at Adabraga, where Isaac Landry lives before. Aquaje was the one who lived there. And being a young man among the Dr. Dankwa and others, we used to be closer to him than the old people. So I told him, I said, lawyer, you being a young man among the United Gold Coast Convention, we have confidence in you and Adamafi. Why you go back and join the people? He said people said he been knowing Nkrumah well. If he's in the CPP, he can control Nkrumah to do good.
Okay.
You see? But Gameke, Patafo, Elekopolo.
Patafo, Elekopolo.
Yes.
Meaning?
Bush pig.
Yeah.
Do not care how the noise or it's not frightened by anything. You see? So, Akwaji, when I met in prison, I said, what happened? Now you are here. I told you this thing. When you join these people, today you see where you are. Akwaji couldn't talk. So my double diet, I used to distribute to them. Give some to Majesty Akwaji, Kofi Crab, and Ta Adamafi in prison.
Wow. Which prison would this be?
Usher Fort.
Usher Fort.
You see?
So you went to Wa prison and you were brought to...
No. First I was taken to Jamestown prison. Jamestown prison, the small one, Jamestown. And then transfer to Wa. First I thought Kumasi. Kumasi, no. They took me Tamale. They said no. Then midnight, they distribute me to Wa, Medwawaite to Yendi, Arapunsan to Gambaga. Wow. Yes. And then Mudeso Apalu, Tamale. You see? So, I say, Akwaji, here we are. If Nkrumah is a good man, Akwaji, who had made you what you become, do all evil to the people. Dr. Dankwa, who paid your passage from London to Gold Coast, you put into prison with his being asthmatic patient, dies in Nkrumah prison. Obeche Bilanti, who discovered the shooting of Emre for our independence, you put in the box when the body was weak. So Obeche Bilanti has no doctor death certificate. When Kotoka came, you with opposition can find out that when the Kotoka came, they set up commission of inquiry, findings for how Obeche Bilanti dies. And the prison officer called Abang, poisoned himself because he can't answer before in the commission. So things has happened.
The prison
search for these things and find the truth of it. Whether Kotoka and others, Hali, they set up commission of inquiry.
So Hali was the head of police under Kotoka?
Kotoka,
General Nkra.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You see? So, Akwaji, what was his reward? Nkrumah charged him high treason. Nkrumah is a wicked man.
No, you've said that already.
So, they made appeal. Dede Ashikinshan, the CPP people went to Nkrumah. Say, why? What Akwaji had done that you arrested him? He said, oh, Akwaji has arrested. I don't know anything. I will see to it that Akwaji come out.
His foreign minister has been arrested and he claimed...
And he said, no, nothing about it. Why Ghanaians are sitting? You see, the interview you are making me today, I see no profit of it.
Don't worry,
Because
don't worry.
Ghanaians don't learn.
Somebody has to tell the story the way it is, and you are
Oh,
doing
no.
so. You're
But
doing so.
ours is too bad.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. We are younger, and we can only hope that things will change.
I hope, as you are saying. But let me tell you, Nkrumah was a wicked man, as I said
You
before.
said it, yeah. You said it, yes.
So Akwaji made appeal, and Attoh Quarshie, Chief Justice. This is the time our Ghana judges must copy the spirit and the truth which Attoh Quarshie, Kwashie Aidan, and others
They exhibited at the time.
behave when they were in the bench. Attoh Quarshie said, look, Akwaji, go free. You have done nothing. What Nkrumah did? He said, Attoh Quarshie, come here. You set Akwaji free. I sack you. Unlawfully dismiss Attoh Quarshie, Chief Justice. Why Ghanaians don't learn? When people are mentioning Kwame Nkrumah, they don't feel ashamed. They must be ashamed.
Now this is funny.
Yes.
Okay.
You see,
mean
because
people should be ashamed,
be ashamed.
to try
Because
giving credit to
this is
Nkrumah.
open secret. It's
Yes.
not something that people don't know. He said, Akwaji, go free. Nkrumah called Attoh Quarshie and dismissed him. You don't know that coup is following. Not quite long. Kutuka, Afrifa got up and kicked him out of power.
That's it.
Say, Akwaji, go free. Adamafu, go free. Attoh Quarshie, go free. Our first mayor of Accra, CPP, Nkrumah put into prison.
Who is this person?
Kwefio Kakaboka
Kwefio Kakaboka.
at Koroko.
Koloko.
Yes. He was the first mayor of Accra. Nkrumah did.
So he
was
took over
among
from
the
the
people.
white man.
Eh?
He took over from the last white mayor of Accra.
We don't have white mayor.
I mean, during the colonial
Oh, yes.
era.
Oh, yes.
That's what I'm saying.
After the white man,
Yeah.
he was the first mayor of Accra.
Is it Jimmy Mogson?
Oh, Moxie is PRO.
PRO. Okay.
PRO.
But he worked under Nkrumah, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
you see.
But
His office was the Accra, Jamestown.
So he was PRO for Accra.
For the whole Ghana.
Oh, Ghana had a PRO.
Yeah, broadcasting.
Yes. Okay.
You see.
But he lived here for the rest of his life.
Oh, yes, he chose to. You see, he liked the country.
Yes.
You see. So,
Wow.
this is the country.
So now when you were released, what did you do? We have just...
Oh, my father was a fisherman, so I started dealing with the fish.
Okay.
I used to import fish from Russia and other countries.
But you always had a way of reinventing yourself and influencing people. Where was that from?
Well, speaking the truth can influence people who fear God. Speaking the truth. You can influence people who fear God.
Wow.
You see, so, as I said, when Tema people invite us, for instance, I told them, they thought I'm a violent person, but no.
Okay.
I advised them.
So you went into business.
Yes.
Importing fish from
Yes.
Russia
From
and
Russia
all those
and other
places.
places.
Good. And
From
you became
there,
a
I put
businessman.
on this building here.
This building is huge.
see.
I mean, I the last time I came here was in the 80s. And I remember because I was young and it looked huge. And today I got here and I was like, okay, is that the same place?
The same place.
Yes. Because this is a magnificent building, even in 2019.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you were way ahead of your peers.
Maybe.
Yes, indeed. So you became a businessman. You
Yes.
lived through Kutu Achampong,
Oh, yes.
Akufu,
Oh, yes.
and then
Kutu Achampong, when Buzia misbehaved and I deserted him. Buzia also put me into custody before.
Buzia too did that. Your own man.
Oh yes, my old man, who I introduced him before Accra Public, put me in custody, and he himself. I went to Nigeria in 1958 to see Obamishi Awolowo. Then they had the government of Western Region of Nigeria.
Awolowo.
Yes.
Okay, the politician.
Yes, the Prime Minister of Western Nigeria. And Obamishi, General Secretary of Asian Group. But then Buzia was stranded. I have no penny. I went and talked to the people. And they helped Buzia with money. And I left the money at Nigeria. I called Buzia here. He went and collected the money there. I helped Buzia a lot. I took him to the castle. Fight. Buzia.
So you took him to the castle to do what?
To pave his way toward the government of the country.
Okay, when he became prime minister, you mean?
Before I became prime minister, I fought before Buzia came from London.
Okay.
You see? And Odwesais was in the foreign affairs.
As a young man?
As a young man working there. And so when Chappie Hortimels, who was former MP for Accra.
He was Hatton Mills, was he CPP?
No.
Okay.
Was the father.
Yeah.
His uncle was a CPP.
Okay.
Thomas Hortimels, who went prison with Kwame Nkrumah.
That's correct.
Yes. But Chappie Hortimels was more like journalist. He died in England. You see, when he came to me and said, Jay, are you sitting? You must do something. Let Ankara and Kotoka and others know. In fact, when I was released, Hali, Deku, Mr. Nunu, all NLC members, I became adult to them. They liked me too much. So anything I tell them, they take it. So Chappie Hortimels brought the name, Center for Civic Education. So I went straight to the castle with Odwesais. The Odwesais became a political thing. And then Ankara, I tried to convince him.
He was head of state at the time.
Yes.
And you were dealing with him like that?
Oh, yes.
No, you were a big boy.
You see, so I contact Ankara and say, look, whatever happens, Buzia will be in power one day. So start to prepare him to hand over power to him. And he said, okay, he prepared to do it. So myself, General Citi Bruce, Dr. K. Buzia, General Ankara.
But tell me, Ankara himself was before he became head of state, was dismissed from the army. Is that correct?
Oh, yes. Nkrumah feared him, not him alone.
Was it over a bribery?
No. Nkrumah did.
Something about Atta and Zeribe.
Nkrumah, Nzeribe. That one, after Nkrumah had been overthrown, before Nzeribe case came.
Okay.
You see, but Ankara was honored from Congo crisis. Lumumba and Kasavubu fight in Congo Kinshasa. So Ankara was a great thing.
But Nkrumah didn't think so. He just thought that Ankara was just a senior person in the army.
But he honored Ankara.
Just to keep the people quiet because he was also popular.
He was afraid of Ankara, Michel. You see? So Michel supposed to be general. Nkrumah tried to suppress it. And later they made a crook arrangement. They say he had an accident and died. Michel. You see, so as I said, we went to the castle temple. There's a temple in the castle top. So we went there, and Ankara said, Kofi, Bombay, pray on all what we have.
Referring to Buzia.
Yes. So we pray. Later, Busia betrayed me. All what he told Ankara, he forget about it. So I went to Busia. On our way coming, I start questioning him. You said you are going to make Ankara nominal head for this country. Now you change your mind. Why? You promise one thing to two people. Is it right? And he said, well, the Akims are trying to stage a political mutiny against him. So he promised.
The Achim people?
Yes. Edward Akufo-Addo.
Okay.
So he said, I said, well, I have no
So that's why he made Edward Akufo-Addo rather
yes.
than...
And that was the friction between myself and Busia. I said, you can't do that. What you have done to Accra, you can do the same thing to Akufo-Addo. You can do the same thing to Pauli. You can do the same thing to others. So for me, I can't live with this kind of things. This is the reason why I say, Ababa say, I know he will form a government, but it won't be long, and you will treat, you will come back.
So is this what gave rise to the Ababase movement?
That was the Arab Ababase.
So you were behind that too?
I was the one who formed Ababase. Attoh Quarshie is one whole Attoh Quarshie.
So you are the same man?
Original.
No photocopy?
No. If I go with my troubles. You see?
No, but because you were very loud with this Ababase
What I
thing.
want you people to know, stick to the truth.
Yes.
Speak the truth. No matter how difficult they will put you into it. Speak to the truth and die with the truth.
And you were all over the place with your vehicles, with the what do you call it? You know, loudspeakers on the vehicles in Accra area, shouting Ababase, campaigning against. Because I remember that one.
Ababase, the party name is
Yes.
Nationalist Party. Nationalist. Nationalist. Dedicated to democratic ideal. We promise the nation a real liberty and freedom forevermore. With the most democratic nationalist party, we shall surely achieve our aim. One country, one people, one great destiny, and freedom forevermore. Ababase.
Ababase.
Kenkomo yeli.
Thank you.
Baba gbonto ame.
Ninye gbonto ame ho.
Gbonto ame.
Mr. Attoh Quarshie, I think we'll want to leave it here for today.
Yes, so.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So you've been watching Footprints on Citi TV. My name is Samuel Atamensa. Make a date with us next week. Thank you.